There we go. That's better. All right.
You want to sit down?
So after that great introduction by Laura and by Kevin, my brother, there's not a whole lot left for me to say. Don't know anything about me. But I do. First I need to recognize the other candidates in the room. Linda Stover, where are you? And Nancy Burse is running for Bernalillo. Nancy and I met about 2 or so years ago because we were in the same Immersion in Mexico class together. So any of you women that are tinkering with the idea of running for office, contact us and we'll set you up with Emerge because they're the best. I'd like to thank you, Donna, for hosting us here. You're very gracious about it. Kevin and Anne Marie for coming all this way, just for me. And my volunteers are the best. We've been knocking on doors for, gosh, over a month now. It's a lot of work. It's hot out there. We've gone through a lot of sunscreen and all that. But, so let me tell you my volunteers. Laura's our coordinator for Milwaukee. I'm just going to run real quick through the people here that have been out with me. Evelyn, Richard, Mark, Charlotte. We were knocking on doors and I'm like, hi, my name's Alexis Jimenez. I'm running for Sandoval County Commission. And this is my friend. And Marisa and Jonathan. And their daughter and son, Alicia, and baby Tiger, that's the baby that's been around here. And I also need to point out that Marisa is the president of our Native American Democratic Caucus of New Mexico. So, back to my speech. Kevin? Oh, God. I have you first, but I wanted to save them for last because Rosella and Mary Jo have been my best walkers, and they've gone out. Gosh, I can't even tell you how many trips they've done. So yeah,
As you remember
for
your
them.
name.
Rosella and Mary Jo have some of the best stories, and they actually ended up going to my competitor's house the other day.
You never know who you can trust.
Right.
They have
They have relatives.
Because we are visiting Republicans' house, especially Republican women, and so his wife was on the list, but I guess his name wasn't, and he was very nice, but yeah, he's not. But thanks for trying.
The wife's gonna vote for you.
So, anyway, I have lived in Sandoval County for 34 of the 40 years that I've lived here. When Kevin was 4. And he tells you I'm mean, but I'm not mean, or if I'm mean, he taught me how to be that way. I'll tell you, the very first bad word I ever used, I used on Kevin. Remember that? I taught myself. Anyway. But I do love being a resident of Sandoval County, and we've lived there, all of us, whole family. We raised our family in Sandoval County right there in Rio Rancho, and our grandbabies are living in Rio Rancho and being part of my campaign too. They've got their little shirts on. We love Sandoval County. We really care about it. We care about the environment. Have always learned to care about our environment. And so when we see people come in, drilling companies like Sandridge wanting to come in and frack in our community. I mean, and not very far from our homes. I think that kind of stuff has to be really addressed. I mean, and am I saying no fracking? Amongst us? Out there, what it does to water, oh my gosh. But when you consider also that we're right there at the end, where they were drilling was literally at the end of a huge neighborhood, with no good ways in or out. So if there were ever to be an explosion or a leak or whatever, there's no way to get all those people out of there and get the emergency services in. And then, do our emergency services even have the proper training to be in there? Do they have the equipment? And the answer, frankly, is no. I have spoken to some of the people that work in emergency services, and that was the concern that they showed me. So, yes, we've got to take care of our environment. We want our blue skies to stay beautiful and blue. We want our water to stay drinkable. And so what else is for the land? Of course, I'm a natural gardener, so we're not doing so well this year. They love me because I'm a poison.
You might be a little busy.
No, something about water. Anyway, so those are my three things. I really, I love the hospitals, and we've been knocking on doors, and virtually everybody who we've spoken to, because I tell them, one of my favorite new things about Sandoval County is that we have 2 hospitals, and so and it's not even just the hospital, the access to health care. I mean, there was virtually nobody that I talked to that said, that didn't have a story. Oh yeah, when, my child broke their leg, or, I have to take my mother in for cancer treatments and whatever. Well, some of those still have to be done in Albuquerque. But we could bring more of those out to Sandoval County. That's what I'd like to see. So, and then, I don't know how many of y'all, I know some of y'all live in Sandoval County. But if you drive out where the new Russ Hospital is, all of the growth that's going on out there is bringing out some nice jobs. I mean, we've got the food service industry, which might not be the highest paying jobs, but it's nice to have. I mean, if you lived in Rio Rancho, and there's never anywhere to go eat. Now there is.
Oh, there's good places now.
But there's also, we've got banks and credit unions going up. We've got doctors' offices, podiatrists, and those other kind of services going up out there. And it can be nothing but good for our county in terms of health and in terms of tax money coming in. So I'm really, really happy and really supportive about that.
We've got a branch of CNM.
We've got a branch of CNM, and a UNM West out there, which can also help us grow and help us keep our children in the community. Again, we're talking to people, and they're like, my son has to drive all the way into UNM to take certain classes and whatnot, and that's the kind of thing, that we should be able to do out at UNM West and out at CNM, and to teach our kids even to join the health services industry and get that kind of training, nursing training, a phlebotomist, and all those other things that you need out there. And again, we're keeping our kids home, our kids have jobs, and they're safe, and we have health care. So that's where I'm at. Did everything, honey?
He's got a list. So the campaign is going great. We're having a lot of fun, and I've got a lot of help from some really great people, and just the support that I feel from you guys, and knowing that y'all are cheering for me, on so many levels, because I am a native, because I am a woman, Democrat mostly, but thank you all so much for being here. I just can't say enough good things about you and how it makes me feel to have this kind of support. Thank you.
I'm glad you covered the fracking. What is your number one goal when you first get into office? What is your number one thing you want to focus on?
Well, we were out canvassing the other day, and we're way out there, way out there. And we came across this road sign that said 31st Avenue. It says 31st Street, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. But really, it's supporting the hospitals. I mean, what we can do for infrastructure, we can do, but really, there are so many dirt roads out there, and my canvassers can attest to that. there's no way that we could get them all done, but, you know, I'd like to look at infrastructure, support the hospitals, and really, I mean, and then kind of way off in left field, but still important to me, is what's happening at the jails. And the jail has not passed muster very well, and that needs to be taken care of, and we've got to take care of those prisoners, and we've got to get them out. Okay, this is, we got to treat them right and get them the help that they need, so that they don't stay.
How's your water treatment in your part of the county or other parts? I heard there's a bunch of state money allocated for water treatment that isn't being spent.
You know, and I don't know how that works. I think we have city water, and a good portion of my district has city water, but there are people out there that are on wells, and a lot of people out there that are on septic systems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough one, because
But is your treatment plant as it should be, or some of it's overwhelmed, wasn't it?
I think that they're building.
Oh, that's the city. Oh.
Yeah, and then the rest of them are, yeah, that's not our thing. Sorry, that's not a great answer, but anybody else? Oh, Bart?
Alexis, you were really great introducing your friends and your helpers, and I had the privilege of driving with you one day to a really weird place we were in, and I'm gonna do it some more. But there's one person you didn't introduce, who's a little late arriving.
I'm mad at him.
But he's color coordinated, so it's very.
My husband, James. He's also my greatest advisor, and the greatest part is he doesn't give me advice unless I ask for
So, after 30 years of marriage, I learned, right? Advise the woman when she asks to be advised.
Anybody else? See, I'm trying, Nancy.
Where do we send donations?
Send them. Well,
Who's taking them? Who's taking them?
I have envelopes out there if you want to take one and mail me a check, or
Your website,
my website can't take payments, but can Jonathan?
but you can get your information there.
But if you see, where's Jonathan?
Kevin Hackbrook.
It's committee to elect.
The one with the
right?
baby.
Yeah.
The one with the baby, okay.
Is Jonathan, and he can help you out if when you have.
Is the credit card.
So.
I have just one comment.
Get your credit card and envelope.
I hope, you mentioned it when you were talking about fracking, but I was a resident of Placitas for over 10 years. And I think it's a really important issue that not very many people are talking about, that you alluded to as far as emergency services. Udall is very aware of this issue, and it's fire, what the issues are around fire and forest fire management, and what the problems are for both the East Mountains and Placitas, with only one entrance in and one entrance out. And I think that recent situations in California have shown us how ill-prepared communities are when large numbers of people have to be evacuated. And that town in Canada recently that just completely burned up shows us that these kinds of devastation really can happen. And I know it's, as I said, something that all of Udall staffers are acutely aware of. But I hope that in your capacity, you can pay attention to it, because we just sometimes have a mentality like it can't happen here, and it really can happen here. And so I'm really excited that you're aware of that and you're focusing on how we can be better prepared in emergencies, because a lot of the people in our communities who may have only one vehicle in the family, or may not have access to the internet or television to be aware of what's